The fix is in. The Sports Fix.
Sports Fix listeners, don't wait all day or all week to get in on the fun. The party doesn't stop when we go off the air all week long. The Sports Fix social media sites are your one-stop shop for all things Cleveland sports. Jump over to Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, Facebook.com/TheSportsFix, and become a fan today because we love fans and they create some of the best sports talk in town, Daddy. You'll enjoy talking to your fellow Cleveland sports fans on the Sports Fix fan page. And if Twitter's your thing, well, you know how we do it. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. It's that simple. Twitter.com/TheSportsFixCLE, baby. Chat live with the crew during all your favorite Cleveland sports events, tickets and contests and trivia and so much more. Get with us today, The Sports Fix on social media, Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at TheSportsFixCLE. Join the Sports Fix on Facebook and Twitter today.
This is Greg Pruitt, formerly of the Cleveland Browns, and you're listening to The Sports Fix.
Live in Ohio, it's time to get your fix. The Sports Fix.
Welcome in, everybody. We are live on the air, rocking and rolling the Sports Fix Friday edition. And not just any Friday to end the week here this week, but of course, the first Friday that begins training camp for the Cleveland Browns around the NFL. Football in full swing. And we're going to talk about that. Jeff Gorman, my man from Browns101.com, he's going to be with us just about 35 minutes from now. And we're going to preview all of the position battles that are up in play at training camp and do all that stuff to get you ready. Browns training camp underway today. Not only Brown, a lot of things. That's far from the only thing we're diving into here today on the show. A little bit of a disappointing way to start the show. Jonathan Knight, sports writer extraordinaire, not able to be with us today. Circumstances beyond anybody's control. He'll be back next Friday. He said to tell you guys that he apologizes and he looks forward to being back on the show, but that's okay. We just got to roll with the punches and do what we do here. Looking forward to having Jeff with us and each and every one of you guys. Like I said, I don't even know. I had a whole bunch of ways I wanted to start this show because much like each and every one of you, or at least the majority of you out there, I'm sure, not only got a little bit of Late Night Tribe Live, saw some very special things go down last night, and there's two definitions of the word special you could use there depending on which part of the game you're referring to. Oh man, I what a bookend to the week, because I think I remember starting the week telling you guys about Little League Baseball and watching some of the worst. I don't even know, baseball is kind of not the fair word to attach to some of these things that you watch. I mean, I'm telling you, I've watched bunt singles become inside the park home runs, back to the pitcher, and just amazing stuff. That's what we saw last night. Corey Kluber's a better man than me. Corey Kluber's a better man than me. I might have had to shank Ryan Rayburn in the shower if I was Corey Kluber last night because, man, we'll get into it. We'll get into the game, especially Corey Kluber, put into perspective. I've got a whole bunch of different ins and outs and notes about what he did last night. Can you say enough about Corey Kluber? You can't, and we will. We will say a lot about him before it's done. My man, Kluber Lang, went to work, but Ryan Rayburn, I don't even know what to say. I mean, if you didn't see it, I don't know if I can put it into justice other than to say, imagine taking a ball and going to throw it a really far away and forgetting to let go of the ball and spiking it 2 feet in front of you, because that is what Ryan Rayburn did last night. I think being Rayburned is now a term, and it applies to Corey Kluber. He was Rayburned last night. And I was joking, he may have actually considered shanking Rayburn in the shower if they didn't at least get him off the hook for that one. But not that I advocate violence of any sort, but I'm just saying, if I was Corey Kluber, I would have had a hard time not whittling a little something together in the bullpen just in case I got that dude alone. Because, man, no way a pitcher should do, and I jest, of course, but no way a pitcher should do what was done last night and not get the victory. And we'll talk more about that. Just an incredible performance by Corey Kluber, a not-so-incredible performance by the offense and by Ryan Rayburn. You have to find other adjectives to match Ryan Rayburn last night. And so anyways, it added up to a loss, a terrible way, too, because we talked about what a great way to start the series with Klubs out there on the mound and taking care of business, and you get that first game, and instead here comes the rest of the weekend, and I mean, it's whatever. You take every game by itself, and this team has always been good at, they're streaky, as we know. They go up a few, down a few, up a few. I'm sure that just as we sit here today and go, man, what happened? They'll run off 3 or 4 or 5 out of 6 or something like that, and next thing you know, that's what they do, and that's fully what I expect them to do here. But last night was one you shouldn't let it get away, and even if you want to talk about anything, last night's one that a playoff team should not let get away. You can't. Not against the teams that are competing with you. And now we'll talk about it as we get more into the next segment of the show, the teams around you in contention beginning to bolster for the fight. Like we said yesterday, everybody getting in line, getting their ducks in a row and getting ready to go. We're seeing the Yankees, the Mariners, the A's, Detroit, all the teams around the Indians in the various playoff hunts. They're getting ready. They're bolstering those reinforcements. So we're going to talk about all of that. Actually, I want to get into. I've got some clues for you guys that look for some of the various clues in the hunt for some of these things. I remember we were joking about that with LeBron James. I'll tell you what, Cavaliers signed Andrew Wiggins, and I think they may have shown me something yesterday. We're going to talk about all of this. Like I said, Jeff Gorman from Browns101.com, Tribe game last night, so much more. Your takes, let's do it. Unwrap it. The Sports Fix, Daddy. It's open. It's on the air. J-Rock, Jerry Myers with you, welcoming each and every one of you across the Sports Fix Radio Network, live on TuneIn Radio, on Mixler and Spreaker, of course, on the sportsfix.net, the website, and on digital delay on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, all the podcast and download formats. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the show and for ending your week with us here on this final edition for the week of the Sports Fix. We want to talk to you. I say it all the time. Microphone, me? No. Microphone, you. 216-539-7535. You are the voice of the Sports Fix. 216-539-7535. Pick up the phone and give us a call. If you can't get to the phone, hit us up on social media, on Facebook.com/The Sports Fix, or just search in the search box for The Sports Fix on Facebook. Tweet with us at The Sports Fix CLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com, and as I referred to, thesportsfix.net, the website, the mothership, as I call it, your one-stop shop for all things Cleveland sports, for Sports Fix, for the live shows, the past shows, the media, all of the social media widgets, everything. It's right there on thesportsfix.net. As I open up, and again, the phone lines are open, 216-539-7535. As I open those up, I want to get into the Indians more here when we come back from the first break. I want to open up real quick a couple of notes and odds and ends. Yesterday, Cavaliers officially came to terms with their two draft picks here this year. Andrew Wiggins, first round draft pick, first pick of the draft, and Joe Harris. Now check this out. And I know I joke all the time about people remember with the LeBron watch, and people were like, what color shoes is this person wearing when they went and talked to that person, and where's the hint? But there is some, I get the correspondence from all the teams, and yesterday when we got the release from the Cavs, when they hit it up to us, it was 10-4, something like that yesterday, and right away I'm reading it, and I get all of these, and I went back and checked, and I've gone over the last couple of years, all these ones that I'm like, man, now I see, I'm glad the one time I need them that I didn't throw all these things away. You got 3-year-old press releases from all the teams here and stuff. Mike Brandon and I were talking about that. I'm like, man, I got press releases from every team from every season going back years, man. It's ridiculous. Just a huge waste of email space. But anyways, turned out to be some good, because I could tell right away. As soon as I started to read this release, I said, you know what? I can't guarantee you that Andrew Wiggins ends up being traded for Kevin Love, but I'm 100% positive that he's on the table and that the Cavaliers are very believing that they may not have a future as far as Andrew Wiggins and the Cavaliers, and it was clear as day to me in the press release that the Cavaliers sent out. Cavaliers' typical press release when they make any kind of a contract signing, and I went back and I checked all of them. I mean, even smaller ones. There's usually a line from the general manager. There's usually perhaps a line from the player, depending what it is. They're worded a certain way. And the one that came yesterday was absolutely nothing like the traditional announcements that come from the Cavaliers. Not only that, but this one did not come with any announcement of a press conference, with any announcement of anything following it up. The minute that I saw this, I said, you know what? He may end up staying with the team, but they're not sure enough because there's a reason that this was literally the paragraph is simply the Cleveland Cavaliers have signed their 2014 NBA draft picks, Andrew Wiggins and Joe Harris, to contracts. Per league policy, terms of the contracts were not released, and then it simply gave their stats from their college careers, and that was it. And I'm telling you, that's completely different. I mean, the one that I've got closest here in front of me is LeBron. And obviously, that's a big level star. But look, this is more typical of the way they usually go. They open up the same way. Cavaliers have signed free agent forward LeBron James, per league policy, teams of the contracts not released. Gushing quote from the Cavaliers. Gushing quote from Dan Gilbert. Large statistical breakdown. And quote from the player on his happiness of returning to the team. All of them traditionally are like that. Kyrie Irving's a week ago, a week before LeBron's, same thing. All of them, even when they're trades, there's usually a quote that says we're excited to acquire a player of this caliber and this nature, whatever it may be. So I'm 100% positive, just based on that. And you can tell it's protecting yourself because they know that he very well, I mean, why bother scheduling a press conference for a guy, especially if you know for a fact that he's going to be a part of this deal one way or the other? Why schedule a press conference? Why have Griffin release a statement saying how happy we are to have this guy with our team and to grow with him? Because really, if you don't say that, you're really transparent in what you're giving away. So what they did is smart because they minimized everything. Right now, it's just very simply signing them to contracts. But anybody that had doubt, and I can't lie, I've told you guys I don't want Wiggins traded. I had held out hope that since I had not had any confirmation from the Cavs, and I told you, people that I talked to in the Cavs were telling me that there was a lot of internal, struggle in that because a lot of people within the organization don't want to part ways with him if they don't have to. And I will say that I'm starting to hear some winds of change coming from Minnesota. And you guys may see some of it breaking on some of the sites today about how Kevin Love may now be doing. And this was something I talked about before. When you really want to go somewhere and you have that leverage as the player, you can start to control how this thing goes too. We've seen it done with some of these other trades of superstars before. And I'm hearing that Kevin Love may now be kind of pushing the trade towards the Cavaliers. And I've talked about that. It's easy. You say, how does he do that? Well, when you make it clear and you start to release through unnamed sources that you will only re-sign with the Cavaliers and that you will only commit to them and that you will only want to be traded to them, then very quickly the other teams get the message and the Timberwolves start to lose leverage, and all of a sudden Andrew Wiggins comes back off the table. So I still believe that if Kevin Love wanted to force this issue, that could perhaps save Andrew Wiggins. But regardless, my point was I was holding out hope that until I had some kind of confirmation from the Cavs that perhaps they were going to try to keep him, because I know a lot of people really did want to try to keep him and do what we've talked about and still get Kevin Love. And I believe that that's possible. I'm telling you, no matter what Flip Saunders will tell somebody and no matter what other people will tell you, every day that ticks off towards losing Kevin Love is another day that Minnesota is not, at the end of the day, going to just lose that asset for absolutely nothing. I mean, ever since everybody saw what happened with LeBron back in 2010, they're not letting that happen. These teams are not going to just let guys walk away. Regardless, my point is clearly at this point, to me, and you guys can read what you want, but I'm showing you the facts right here. With such a generic press release that the Cavaliers sent out to the media, with the lack of any statements and any attached press conferences or anything, that's got to tell you that, to me, more than playing Columbus